once again everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time joining me today. Hi, my name is Hannah. I make a lot of different videos here on YouTube. If you are new here, if you're not new here, you already know the randomness that is my channel. I don't really intentionally make my videos super different from each other, but I just have a wide variety of interests, so I cover a lot of different topics on my channel. Also, my hair is like not wanting to cooperate today. It's like in this weird frizzy, halfway curly state. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's really hot outside. It's really hot inside as well. I have these huge windows in my house, so it stays pretty warm in here. So anyway, without further ado, without further rant, let's just hop into this video. That's what you came here for. I'll shut up now. So this video is about the very first funny, weird, kind of creepy story that I have from my brand new job. I'm not going to disclose where I work because it's a small business, but I now work at a jewelry store and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. That's Cass. She got a new toy today. Anyway, so I'm absolutely loving my new job. It's super fun. Everybody I work with is super cool and super nice, and it's just really fun to be around jewelry all day and to get to learn more about jewelry and kind of be more into this world that I've always been interested in but never really known very much about. So it's really cool to now get to learn about designers and fine jewelry and things like that. So anyway, like I said, this is a small business. This is not a chain or a corporation or anything big, large scale, nothing like that. However, it is a fine jewelry store, so everything in there is quite expensive, a lot more expensive than I anticipated, but expensive nevertheless. Which I'm assuming most jewelry stores would be, you know. I don't really feel like you walk into any particular jewelry store and it's so much more expensive than the other, unless it's like a Tiffany's or something and then they're just like their brand. But this jewelry store sells a lot of different brands. I'm like totally going off topic. I do this every time. So sorry if you're new here, but this is just the way that I am. Anyway, so the other day I was at work and I've been training. I haven't really been selling to customers yet. I've been watching how other people sell the product and how they talk to the customer about the product. So I've just been doing a whole lot of learning the past few days. So this particular incident, it was a very slow day at the store, like extremely slow. Like I'm talking like 10 customers all day max, from like 9 in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. It was so slow. So anyway, this man comes in and he's an older man, probably about 65 or 70 years old. He's pretty old, and so I follow my coworker over to him, and again, I'm watching how she sells to this man, watching how she interacts with him, and I immediately noticed that he acted a lot differently than most people who would come into the store, because what I've recently learned is that most people who shop at this jewelry store are repeat customers. They're returning customers. They come here monthly, every couple of weeks. They come here a lot, so people know them. Well, none of my coworkers knew this man, and he was acting really suspicious, like really secretive and not wanting to really tell us anything. Of course, you know, we don't have to know your life story, but I have learned that it's important to kind of ask the customer about themselves, ask, you know, just make small talk. And also what's really important is to ask, you know, who are you buying this for? What's the occasion? Stuff like that, because it really does matter. So she asked the man, she said, hey, you know, who are you shopping for today? And he said he was shopping for his wife. So she said, oh, okay, what's the occasion? And he said, you know, no occasion, just because I just want to get her some diamond stud earrings. And it was very specific. As soon as he came in, he said he wanted to get her some diamond stud earrings, which, I mean, nothing wrong with knowing what you're looking for, but it just did seem very specific. So she was like, oh, okay. And so we walked over to the case where all of like the diamond stuff is kept. Not engagement. Engagement is the total other area. But there's one case that's just for diamond jewelry, like diamond studs, diamond necklaces where it's just diamond, diamond bracelets, stuff like that. So we showed him the array of jewelry, and he eventually decided on this one pair, and they were $900 and something. But my store is having a huge sale right now, so pretty much everything in the store is at least 20% off, and these earrings fell into that 20% off category. So his total came to like $705 or something. It was something like that. And something you really have to know is, again, this is a very small jewelry store. It's pretty low tech. It's kind of, I don't want to say like old school or ancient or whatever, but there's no cash register. There's a cash drawer at where you pay. There's a cash drawer underneath the counter, and there is a small, the little tiny debit card reader like you would see at like a really old gas station or whatever. Not like the kind that has the screen where you can touch stuff. It's like the teeny tiny one, but it does have a chip reader and it has a slidey thing. So there's that, a cash drawer. However, you have to write down every single sale on a sales receipt. And some people, depending on how young you are, you may not know what that is, but it's basically where you have a regular piece of paper that you write everything on. Underneath it, there's a yellow piece, and underneath that, there's a pink piece. So on every sales receipt, there are 3 pieces of paper involved. So just want to clear that up in case somebody is unfamiliar with the sales receipt, because honestly, I'd never used them until, I mean, I knew what they were, but I'd never used them until I worked here. So anyway, on our particular sales receipts, it has a place for the person's name, first and last, their address, and their phone number. And that is just so that, you know, everything is kept for records. Everything is kept at this store is what I have learned. They keep every single thing, because if somebody comes in one time and they've been here before, if they come in another day and say the person checking them out forgets to write down their address or their phone number, and if they left a repair or something, then you could go back in the records and say, oh, this is their phone number, and so we can call them. So everything on that sheet is pretty much just kept for bookkeeping purposes. It's not anything that we give to anybody else. We don't give out information, stuff like that. We don't do anything like that. We just keep it for our records. So I feel like I explained that way too much, and I don't know if it made sense to anybody, but I hope it did. So on the sales receipt, we have all this information. Like I said, nothing crazy, we just keep it for records. So we bring the man over, tell him the total, and he's like, oh, okay. And so my coworker asks, you know, hey, how are you gonna pay today? Because there's a place on the sales receipt to check off how they're gonna pay. And he said, oh, I'll pay in cash, which I thought was unusual, because I didn't know that people would pay that much money in cash. But this man pulls out like, well, it had to be $700 bills, and then he pulled out a 20. And like I say, his total was like 705 or 706 or something like that. And so she was like, oh, okay. And then she asked for, you know, his name, his address, his phone number. So she says, okay, what's your first name? And he says, John. She said, okay. And so then she said last name, and he said, And he kind of hesitated for a minute, so I knew something was up. He goes, I don't want to give y'all that information. I don't think that y'all need that information. And she goes, oh, okay, well, it's nothing crazy. It's just in case, your wife she needs a different pair of earrings or something and she wants to bring those back and return it, then we can, identify which transaction it was by your name, your address, your phone number, just so that everything moves slowly if you need to return it, anything like that. And this man says, well, I don't want to give you that information because I don't want this cash being traced back to me. And if it needs to be returned, I'll be the one returning it. Okay, sketchy, whatever you say. So my coworker was taken aback. She was like, oh, okay. So we literally just wrote John Doe on the slip. It was really weird. And anyway, this man was like not talkative at all. He was being really secretive, and he wasn't wearing a wedding ring, which I thought was really strange for someone who claimed to be buying a gift just because for his wife. I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. And after this man left, he paid for everything, he left, whatever. After he left, I walked over to my coworker and I was like, hey, that was really weird. Did that seem really weird to you? And she was like, yes, oh my gosh, that has never happened before. I've never had anybody who wouldn't give me their name or their address or anything. She was like, he was being really sketchy even after I told him that we just kept this information for bookkeeping. And I'm like, I know, that's so weird. I don't understand. I could understand if he didn't want to give us, an address or whatever, but just to not want to give your last name or your phone number so that it couldn't be traced back to you, that is super strange. And especially since he was paying in all cash, I don't know. I just felt like that was really weird. We've kind of been theorizing that he was like a sugar daddy or something, or he had a girl on the side. I don't know, but that was crazy. And it makes me laugh, but it's just a really weird situation. I don't know. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time.